Out of 11 audit firms that competed for the contract to clean up the country's voters register, KPMG emerged the best according to the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. And as the electoral agency races against time to beat the general election timelines, it continues to face resistance from the opposition. Today, CORD leader Raila Odinga and his ANC counterpart Musalia Mudavadi called for the revocation of the voter register audit contract to KPMG.
That this KPMG, which has been appointed, has no experience in auditing registers. They don't have any kind of experience, so nobody knows how they were selected.
The so-called audit by KPMG is set to take place without the biometrics of voters, which is part of the requirement in the negotiated law.
However, IEBC says the auditing of the voters register was only introduced during the negotiated settlement and that the law does not define the methodology for the audit process, hence best practices from elsewhere will be applied.
Because if that is implemented, then you will prevent the dead who resurrect on that day, vote, and then go back to their graves. This is what we are trying to prevent, and that is what the Jubilee is worried about.
The two leaders who have been warming up to a touted coalition say IEBC must make public a master register it intends to use. They also want the voting done electronically. The duo also took issue with Tuesday's special sitting of the National Assembly, convened to debate amendments to various election laws.
But as opposition, we will not be party to the removal of even a comma from that agreement. We are sending a warning that if Jubilee and the sacked IEBC commissioners insist on the path they have taken, the country will be back to renegotiations square one.
The law had just been passed by Parliament. The Act has now become operational. Before it is implemented, they are rushing to try to amend it.
According to the IEBC, the register audit will take 30 days and recommendations forwarded to Parliament. And so a showdown is looming on Tuesday in the National Assembly, and if the two parties fail to reach a consensus, then the biggest casualty will be the election date set for the 8th of August. But the IEBC says the die is cast. Stephen Leto, Citizen Weekend.